Hi guys, today we're going to be going through all of the books I read in the month of August. Which, funnily enough, is only 4. So this month was, I only read 4 books and that's okay. Sometimes you have not so good reading months. Honestly, even though I haven't read a lot, it hasn't been an awful reading month because I am currently in the middle of quite a few books that have been really good and I've just been taking my time with them. So I also had my father pass away this month, so dealing with the traveling that we already had planned and then services, you don't get a lot of time to read in between, but that's okay. It's seasons of life and I'm still ahead with my reading goal because I've been doing so good in the past few months, so I'm not too stressed about it. And you shouldn't be either if you only read 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 books like me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do a little run through of the books that I read this month. I do not have most of them. I think I only have one of them. So the first one is A Summer Romance by Annabel Monaghan. I rated this one a 4.25 stars. I really liked this one. I do own this one. It is just back at my house and I'm not currently at my house right now. So I did really like this one, but I'm currently filming a reading vlog for it. It's just been going very slow because of how August has come up. So there's going to be, I believe, at least 2 other books in that vlog too. So I'm not going to go too much into details and my thoughts of it, but I did like it. I understand why it's such a big thing, but it wasn't a 5-star for me. It was a 4.25. So that was the first one that I finished. I think I read that like the first 2 days of August, and then we were like mid-month until we read another book. So the second book this month was actually a children's book and it's called Tom and the Bear. This is by B.A. Swiger and it was illustrated by Skylar Lofrey. I don't know if you can see that. This is a children's chapter book. This was actually given directly to me by the author because my family knows the author. It was published this year in April. It's a cute little children's, chapter book. I gave it a 4 stars. It had some good themes of bravery and honesty with very light faith themes. The author is a Christian, but the faith themes weren't heavy at all. It was like praying at dinner time and saying, God will work it all out. Just light things like that. My daughters enjoyed this. Well, mainly my older daughter, my 4-year-old, really enjoyed this. My 2-year-old would listen for a minute and then run away. That's how they are at 2. But she's already asking to read it again. So she really liked this, and they have some cute little illustrations in it. It's very short. Very nice little book. She was, I believe, an indie, self-published type. So there are a couple of grammar mistakes in it. Not a lot, though. But I just want to throw that out there, that there are a couple of small little grammar mistakes. But I thought it was pretty good and sweet and nice. So, and then the third book that I read this month was The Friend Face Off. This is actually the 3rd book in the Love on the Ice series. So this is a hockey romance, pitched as a hockey romance. This is by Grace Worthington. Sorry, I gotta look down at my notes because I don't know too much about this one. This was actually an ARC that was sent to me by the author. Thank you so much, Grace, for sending me this ARC and letting me read it ahead of time. This comes out September 12th, I believe, so next month here. And I gave this one a 3.75. I thought this was cute. I will say that for a hockey romance, I feel like this probably had the least amount of hockey in it of hockey romances I've read. I wasn't too overly disappointed about that though because of the other aspects of the book that it had. If you like bookish aspects, if you like a fall romance, if you like the pen pal type of thing, then I would definitely still recommend this book. Just know that it has very light hockey themes. This is also kind of a friend, it is like a friends to lovers, but also kind of second chance. I don't know. It's interesting the way they did this, but the male protagonist actually goes to book club for this girl, and our female protagonist works at a bookshop. She's very much into books, so he goes to her book club. He tries to read her books and take notes and stuff, so he's really trying to impress her, and it's really cute, and I really enjoyed that bookish aspect. And there were some really nice fall light fall vibes in this, also because the entirety of the book is set in the fall season in the small little town, so it is a small town romance also. So I enjoyed it. It just and the writing was good. It just, nothing stood out to me as amazing. You know, it was just a nice, cute, fluffy little fall romance for me. And I just felt like, I know some people like more hockey in their hockey romances. So I wanted to mention that it is very light on the hockey. But if that doesn't bother you, then I would absolutely recommend it. And again, it comes out September 12th, I believe. So, all right, and then the last book that I read is another ARC, but this is an ARC that I got from NetGalley. This was called The Book Swap. This is actually a contemporary adult romance, and it was not quite as clean as I was hoping. I gave this one a 2.5 stars. This is by Tessa Bickers. Tessa Bickers, yeah. So, The Book Swap by Tessa Bickers, I gave a 2.5 star. I might do a individualized review for this one just because I have so many notes and thoughts. Since it was a NetGalley ARC, I try to take more notes when I'm writing and stuff like that through those. I haven't quite decided yet though. But I love the idea of this. So basically, this one girl lost her favorite copy of her book, and she had written in the margins and written all of her notes and underlined and all of this crazy stuff, and she accidentally left it in a little free library, a little community library, and somebody else took it, and then they wrote in the margins back to her and put it back, and then she found it and she was like, oh, and so then she leaves another book for him after writing in the margins again, and it's like a book swap back and forth. And honestly, I love the concept, and it's a wonderful concept, and the parts that it was just purely that I really did enjoy. The problem was that I felt like the majority of the book didn't center around this conflict. I felt like it was a little bit more of a literary mix of a romance and not just a purely romance, because a lot of it focused around these two people who actually knew each other and had some big thing in the past. Not like a big romance, oh, they had feelings for each other. There was never a romance. There was this big blow up. And I don't know, to me, the way it was done with the characters, I didn't like it very much. It didn't seem as believable. The connection wasn't as believable. I felt like this would have been better if the author showed more of their past, more of their connection in the past for a second chance, or if it was just done with strangers. Personally, I would have liked to see the concept just done that way. But anyway, they have a mutual friend who died from cancer in the past, and so a lot of the book really centers around this friend and the grief and coming to terms with it and moving on. And so I felt like the whole concept of the book and the way that the summary and the blurb is written, it doesn't fully it's not fully centered around that. So it was a little bit of a letdown for me, because I was expecting more of a fluffy, fun, romance centered on this, and it wasn't. But besides that, this author wasn't a bad writer. The first line actually really stood out to me, but then she had a lot of vile language. It is supposed to be closed door, and I believe you can call it closed door in the sense that you don't see any sex on scene, but there are a couple graphic descriptions of sexual type of things that bridge right on the line. Which I don't read and I don't prefer, but I know some people will read up to that type of stuff. So technically, I think it is still closed door since there was no actual sex on the page. I'm still trying to learn the different degrees and get those down in my head, but I'm pretty sure closed door is just literally full out sex on page. Yeah, as long as there's not full out sex on page, then it's closed door. So it is that, but it was not my favorite. I would very much love for somebody to take this concept and to do it better and in a light, fluffy, romance purely kind of way. You could even have some deeper themes, and I loved the stuff that they were talking about within the margins in the literature. I love that. But without all the other stuff, without all the vileness and the gross sexual stuff, and just there was casual flings, and it is not a favorite for me. So I don't know. I feel like I've rambled enough, so maybe I won't do an individualized review, but who knows. Those are the 4 books that I read this month, so I've had kind of a month. But I did want to talk about the books that I am currently reading, because I've been reading them for a lot of these months and I had to kind of like stop and everything. So the first one is for that reading vlog also, and that is Lovely War by Julie Berry, and I am almost halfway through this one, so I'm getting there. Again, I will have a lot more thoughts on my individualized reading vlog. And I've also been reading The Pursuit of God by A.W. Tozer. Again, this is one that you really have to take slow and really like soak it all in. I feel like every paragraph is his just seems like a whole like sermon, like, man, that hit. And so sometimes I can't even read a full chapter at a time. I've just been enjoying my time with it and taking it really slow. So this is one I will probably definitely finish here in September though, because I have been reading through, and again, I'm almost halfway through this one. So the next one I have is my women's book club book of the month, and that is God Just a Human Invention? And 17 Other Questions Raised by the New Atheist. This is by Sean McDowell and Jonathan Morrow. I've really been enjoying this one too. I do plan on still reading my, next month's book club, but this one will be finished up in the month of September. I am in the middle of chapter 6 of this. There's like a lot of chapters. I think I'm only probably a quarter of the way through this one, but this one is a little bit chunkier. Again, really enjoying this. I've been like marking it up. I don't know if you guys can I've been just doing it with a pen because I don't have my highlighters with me here, but I've been really enjoying this one also. Another one that I'm reading as an audiobook because a couple of people I know were reading through it, and I was like, well, I'll check it out. I had a free audiobook that I was able to get, and so I got The Well-Watered Woman. I cannot for the life of me remember who this is by right now, but I'll put it up here. I have just started this one though, like a couple of days ago, so I'm only in the middle of chapter 1. So this is definitely going to be one that I will hopefully finish in the month of September. But those are all the books that I read in the month of August, and the few books that I have been reading this month and will roll over to September. I also just want to say that I was not able to pre-film my September TBR, and I am coming back the first week of September, so my TBR video will probably not be until the second week of September. I apologize for that, but it is what it is. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day and a happy reading month ahead. Bye guys!